Let's analyze what actually happened. It helps to watch things twice. You can see it.
Tonight on Piers Uncensored, Israel at war, the uncensored debate. Mohammed Hijab is a Muslim philosopher, scholar and YouTuber whose first appearance on the show was viewed by more than 8 million people. Rabbi Shmuley has been called the most famous rabbi in America. He is the international best-selling author of Kosher Hate and The Israel Warrior. Both men are passionate, both men are influential, and they both have vehemently opposing views. Tonight, they go uncensored and head-to-head. We're bringing together two very opinionated, passionate, influential people, very opposing views, and we're going to have a proper debate, and we're going to see if somewhere there is perhaps more that we can agree on.
Why is his name Hijab?
So,
but it doesn't wear a hijab.
Gentlemen, we tossed a coin before we came on air tonight, and actually, you won the toss, and you said you want to go second.
I defer to my brother.
And the way this will work, Mohammed, we have 4 sections of this debate, and at the start of each one, you'll both get 1 minute uninterrupted to say what you want to say about
because he's secretly a woman.
Themed titles of each block. So you go first, and at the end of your minute, you'll hear a sound, and when you hear that, you end, and then Rabbi Shmuley gets his chance to speak. So
I don't think they're playing any games here.
Is a simple one. Are Hamas to blame? You have a minute, Mohammed, from now.
From one perspective, Hamas started the battle because, obviously, from October 7th, even they themselves title it Tufan al-Aqsa or the flooding of al-Aqsa. But from another perspective, if you really look at it from an international law perspective, we're talking about 1967, we're talking about Security Resolution 242, in which it is actually stated that Israel is in a belligerent state because they're occupying the West Bank, East Jerusalem, and Gaza. And they have been, so therefore the war has been continual for a very long time according to international law. But let's remove Hamas from the situation altogether. Let's remove them. What do you have? You have the West Bank. And what do you have in the West Bank? You have 187 children who have been put in prisons. They have been put in prisons, according to Bet Salem, without charge. You have 44 children before October the 7th that have been killed before October the 7th in just 2023 alone. So if you remove Hamas from the equation, what you have the West Bank. You remove dominance from the equation, you have the West Bank, and what you have occupation, you have settlement, which you condemned, rightfully so. You condemned that on your show. The settlement's there.
$2,970. That is what I made in a month as a smaller creator on a...
Okay. Rabbi Shmuley, 1 minute to respond.
Resolution 242 in the UN doesn't mention a single thing about aggression or aggressor. That is a total fabrication, and it speaks about disputed territories. But let's be clear. The occupier of Gaza is Hamas. They won an election in 2006, had a civil war with Mahmoud Abbas, took the Palestinian Authority officials, threw them off buildings, killed Muslims, killed Arabs. Mahmoud Abbas is afraid to go to Gaza. He's terrified of Hamas. Right. He hasn't been there since 2007. And let's be clear, Hamas is an abomination to Islam. Sultan Salah al-Din, the greatest Muslim conqueror of all time, after whom the main artery in Gaza is named, he said that you have to allow all prisoners to be redeemed. He would never hold hostages. And remember, Islam is about fair treatment of prisoners of war. Hamas beheaded Thai non-Jewish workers. You asked in your last appearance here for real first-hand sources. I'm the first-hand source. I saw it in Kibbutz Alumim. They raped women. They had sex with dead women's bodies. They are evil, and do the right thing and call them evil.
All right, we've had a minute each. Okay, we've got a passionate start. Mohammed, let me ask you about Hamas.
I want to first, before you do that, I want to commend you, Piers, honestly, because bringing me on for the second time, I have to commend you. And the fact that you actually condemned the settlements is very good. But people want to know, do you think the IDF are a terrorist organization?
No.
You don't think they're a terrorist organization? Okay, well, if you look at the UN definition of terrorist organization, they say killing civilians for political gain.
You asked me my opinion.
No, but if the UN definition, according to the UN definition, is killing civilians for political objectives. Why are they not terrorist organizations?
Well, you've asked me a straight question. I don't think they are a terror organization.
So when you see babies like this, the ones who kill babies like this are not terrorists.
It's horrific.
So the people who kill babies like this are not terrorists.
Well, let me respond.
Yes.
Let me respond. We'll
it's not your turn.
You can both get into this. Here's my response to that. And I've thought carefully about this. I'll be very honest about my own feelings. I have a real moral quandary about this because as a father, I hate these scenes of kids being killed in Gaza. It's horrific, right? We all know it's horrific.
But are they a terrorist organisation, though?
I'm about to explain to you what I think my position is. My position is, after what happened on October the 7th, it was so barbaric, so disgusting.
So you can kill children?
Well, no, what you can do...
That's exactly what terrorists say, by the way.
Let me answer your question.
This is not a
That's
debate.
exactly
This is someone else becoming the host of the show and now interviewing you.
Please
I
stop.
thought
You're gonna have your
we're
chance.
being
You're
interviewed.
gonna have your chance.
Mohammed, you and I are being interviewed. You're not here to interview him.
You're going to have your chance.
Mohammed, you can put it
Don't
down.
make him lose control of his own show. You do this all the time. It will not. I'm not going to let it happen tonight.
All right, Rabbi, let me answer.
Please have respect for the...
No. Stop interviewing the interviewer and be respectful. And be respectful.
Let me respond.
Tell me, sir, is it a terrorist organisation or not?
No.
Why not?
I do not believe so.
They kill civilians for political
objectives. You have
objectives.
to let me answer.
Go ahead.
Okay. Here's my answer to that.
Cheers.
When Hamas did what they did, two things. One, Hamas knew exactly what Israel's response would be. They knew they would come incredibly hard back.
I don't absolve them.
Wait a minute. I'm not absolving anybody.
I'm not absolving them.
Okay.
I'm saying the West Bank is West Hamas.
I know.
West Hamas.
You have to let me answer.
You've got 44 children killed like this in the West Bank.
This is ridiculous.
Wait a minute, Rabbi Shmuley. Let me just answer you quickly.
Go ahead.
I believe Israel has a right to defend itself after that terror attack.
But can they kill children?
Wait a minute.
Can they?
Wait a minute. Particularly after the Hamas spokesman only last week said that they want to do this again and again and again. That's an existential threat to Israel.
Why don't they fight a man?
Y'all told me to go back and watch that. That was retarded. That was stupid. Kwame debate with Zionist.
As big and bad as the FBI is. You know, I think as big as bad they are with all this thing, they would pick him up overnight, you know. And Rap Brown, bad who they know they couldn't pick up.
Mr. Carmichael, my first comment is a historical correction. The blacks did not build the pyramids, the Jews did.
The Jews?
That's number one.
I beg your pardon?
The blacks did not build the pyramids, the Jews did. That's comment number one.
Okay.
That's right, Jewish labor under Egyptian slave masters.
Continue.
My second comment...
Wouldn't have built them without slavery either.
Continue,
my
please.
second comment...
We let them state it. You want to help him? Come. You can help him.
Comment number two...
Let your brother continue.
Comment number two. If you believe that the Zionists control and exploit the people in this country, then you're an anti-Semite, even though you deny it in your book. Stokely Speaks.
Okay. Let's take your...
Comment number three.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's too bad that you align yourself against the national liberation movement of the Jewish people, Zionism. Because by doing that, you align the black people against the Jewish people. They each have national liberation movements, and to align them against each other just is calling for future conflict between them.
Okay, let's go to number one. You say the Jews built the pyramids.
That's right.
Does Africa belong to the Jews or to the Africans?
I'm sorry?
Does Africa belong to the Jews or to the Africans?
To Africa.
Thank you. Next question.
They built the pyramids, though.
Hey,
Don't grab it.
there's no need to discuss that. Africa is my house.
Yeah, it's pissing
So
me
whatever
too.
is built in my house is mine, isn't it?
Fine, but it was built by Jews, talking about
But
the
look here,
pyramids.
even if the Jews built it, who gave them the plan since they were slave laborers?
Gave them plans?
Yeah, who gave them
Nobody
the
gave them any
plans?
plans. Somebody told them to do it with whips.
Right, somebody told them how to do it with.
The
So
Egyptians, the people
I wasn't
you
talking
want to
about the
support
slave
against the
labor.
Israelis.
I was talking about the mighty planning of the pyramids. Did the Africans do that?
Well, then the owner of the factory made the shirts, not the workers, right?
Yeah, understood that. Understood.
Yeah.